All right, guys, here it is. Here's my Ferrari. This is my Porsche. This is my Lamborghini. This is my McLaren. They're all wrapped up into this car right here. Now, this is a video that I was planning on making a while ago, man, but because some people have asked, like, man, why would you spend $125,000 on a Corvette? And, you know, the answer is because I felt like I could and I can and I want to and I like the car or whatever. And they always say, well, you're getting into Lamborghini territory, you're getting into Ferrari territory. There's people with C8 Z06s that are 180,000, 170,000. I've met them in person at the Corvette events, and they're not flexing, but they had to let it be known that's what they spent. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't do that. I'm close to it. I can't front. I'm close to it. Yes, I am. This car was 122,000 after taxes. It was 130, and yeah, so I'm kind of close to it. And these cars can get way up in price. They can get close to 200,000, but that doesn't mean that just because you're spending that money, you have to get like a McLaren or some people always say, well, that's used McLaren territory. After you do that, then what? Who are you doing it for is the real question. Yeah, I see a lot of comments that you know, people ask, what did you pay for it? And they're like, well, that's McLaren territory. That's a pre-owned McLaren right there. What they're not telling you is that, you know, those older generation Ferraris and Lamborghinis, yeah, they still cost 130, 200, 150, 99 or whatever they cost, but the interior is completely outdated. The system is outdated, and you're only doing it just for a flex. There are no old Lambos and Ferraris that have interiors like this. I've done my research and I've looked at a lot of different cars, and yeah, I thought about getting a pre-owned quote unquote supercar. But this is my new supercar. So some would say, oh, that's not a supercar. Okay, well, that's fine. Like I said, this is my Lamborghini, this is my Ferrari, this is my McLaren, this is my Porsche, this is my whatever you want to call it. This is what it is. I like it a lot, man. So driving a car like this, the good part is, you know, I've been at a lot of car shows, and when I pull up, it's just like any other reaction that other people who are driving the more exotic, that you would call more exotic cars or more expensive cars, I'm getting the same type of, oh my gosh. As a matter of fact, I'm be honest, you might have heard some motorcycle, I don't know if you heard them, but when I was pulling up over here, there was two gentlemen in this parking lot doing wheelies and stuff like that, and then they saw me pull up. They came over, they said, man, this is a sweet car. What is it? They didn't know what it was. Yeah, they didn't know what it was. A lot of people don't know. They think it's a Ferrari. They think it's a Lamborghini. They think it's whatever, and that's fine with me. So that's why I said, this is my Lamborghini. This is my Ferrari. I wouldn't give Ferrari any money. I don't care how much money I have now. I have how much money on stock market. I don't care how much money I could be a billionaire, and I still wouldn't give Ferrari a sale, because they have some very crazy rules on buying their cars, and you just go check it out for yourself. Nah, I'm not the one. I believe Jay Leno said it too at one point, and several other people online have said it. You know, Ferrari is ridiculous with their sales. They want you to do a whole bunch of other stuff before letting you buy the car you actually want, which is crazy. They're trying to get a bunch of money off of you. It's so weird. Anyway, Lambos, and let me just say this. I'm not saying these cars that I'm talking about, like Lambos and Ferraris and all these cars, are ugly by any means. They are not. They are absolutely beautiful, and they are beautiful cars to own. They're fast. They're everything. They're everything. But they're not for me. No, they're not for me. I wouldn't spend that kind of money on it. I don't even promote a person spending the kind of money I spent, because this is a lot of money. I don't want people to hurt themselves financially trying to keep up with what's going on online. And that's what you see. You could see, okay, here I want you to do some homework. Go check out some people who do car videos and look at how they have a decline on their channel for content. They can't sustain because they're buying all these expensive cars, and next you know, they're saying they sold it for this reason or whatever, and they are just trying to keep up with what everybody else is doing. I think that's what a lot of these guys do, because I follow them. I really want to say names of some of these people, but I won't do it because it's going to seem like I'm taking a shot at them, but I don't want to do it because I still kind of watch them sometimes. But what I will say is that they couldn't sustain it. And now the content is just meh. Yeah. When you're up, you're up. And when you're down, you're down. Nobody's really following you too much. But I personally think that expensive cars like this, and folks, no doubt this is an expensive car. It's out of the budget of a lot of people. To my understanding, a lot of people just wouldn't want to do it. So, okay, so this car is expensive. So if you finance a car like this, it's going to be really expensive per month. So that's why you have to be in a position to where you have the ability to buy it. And if you are going to finance it, you probably wouldn't just finance the entire amount. I've actually seen people who financed $100,000 or $270,000 on a Z06. Like the car was marked up $100,000 back in 23 when they were marking them up $100,000. This guy spent $270,000 on a Z06 and financed every bit of it. Now you can imagine how much his monthly payments were. I think he put down $50,000 or something like that, but that was just him giving away free money to the dealer because they had it marked up $100,000, which is just nuts to me. So I say, if you're going to, first of all, if you like cars like this, and I say, I don't care what anybody else says, the Z06 is an exotic car. It's a supercar. I think all the current generation Corvettes are supercars. Why can't I say that? Some people, oh, you can't say that because it doesn't have this. I'm like, well, you can say whatever you want to say. I've owned the 23 C8, the Stingray, and now I own the E-Ray. And if just because a person says something is not something, that doesn't make it a fact. It does not. I've heard a lot of people say the Z06 is not a supercar. I think the Z06 is a supercar. I think this is a supercar because it's right there with the Z06. So it even looks like a Z06. It even looks like a Z06. I think the number one question I get from people is, where'd you buy those wheels? And I'm like, no, they're the factory wheels. And then I have to explain to them which car it is. Because like I was saying earlier, there was a couple guys out here in this parking lot doing like a wheelies, practicing their motorcycle skills. And they immediately came over when they saw me parking. I was like, what the heck is this? What year is it? They were like, oh my gosh, it's 24. I'm like, yeah. But yeah, it's good to get the reaction of some people when they don't know what it is. I like when people actually, like they really just don't know what it is and they start to ask me what it is. And it's always fun to hear their response. They're like, what? That's a Corvette? Yeah. There's not a lot of cars. And furthermore, the reason I say this is my supercar, the interior on this thing it doesn't just look good, it's actually really comfortable, folks. It's getting dark out. You probably can't tell. It doesn't look like it's getting dark, but it is getting dark out, like really dark. This camera I'm using has a 1-inch sensor, so it kind of helps. But yeah, this is a supercar to me. It has a beautiful interior. It looks mean on the front. The angles are all good. It's got a fat 13-inch wheel on the back. I want to do some spacers on the back, like a 20-millimeter spacer on the back, just to see if it'll push the wheel out a little bit. Because if you look here, if you look at the rear, see how the rear the top is kind of in, and the front is just a little bit in. So you could do like a 20-millimeter spacer on the car, and it'll be looking really sweet. But nonetheless, man, yeah, buying Ferraris, Lambos, McLarens, all these other cars, I just, as a person who likes these types of cars, and I'm at shows, I have buddies that have Lambos and stuff like that. They look at this car and say, man, this thing is nice for a Corvette, and they're driving a Lamborghini. But I think it's just the concept of the mid-engine and the way the car is set up. It'll make a person really respect it. This car gets respect on the road because, again, a lot of people who they just see a car and they think, oh my God, that's an exotic car. I'm pretty sure that person's rich. Yeah, no, totally not. I'm well off. I'm not rich at all, not by a long shot. So I think that I don't think I could ever give like Lamborghini, Ferrari, all these different companies. I don't think I could ever give them any cash because I'm not trying to be the fastest. This is a fast car, but I don't have to be the fastest by a long shot. I don't have to be. I don't ever claim to be the fastest, but this car will get respect on the road, and it does. It gets plenty of respect on the road. It looks the part, it drives the part, it feels like it. Everything about it is a car that is enough to keep me intrigued. This is an exotic car It's an American exotic car. There may be some parts under here that are not made in the US that some people will dig deep and find out about and say, oh, that was made in Germany, or that was this and that was that. That's cool. It's still a Corvette. Still a Corvette, and I absolutely love it. So lights are kicking on, everything's kicking on up here. I'm telling you, it's getting really dark outside. You just can't tell too much because of the, this is the, oh, by the way, I've recently bought the new GoPro Hero 13 Black. And in this same setting, the GoPro probably wouldn't do as well because it doesn't have a 1-inch sensor, but this is the new DJI Action 5 Pro, and it has a 1-inch sensor, 1/1/3. So I'm hoping this video comes out pretty good because it's actually it's getting really dark out here. Like the lights are coming on the building where I shoot. So I'm gonna get out of here, but I gotta tell you, I'm really happy to be an owner of this beautiful car, and I don't think I would have it any other way. If one day something new comes out, and I already made a video about the ZR1. The ZR1 is probably gonna be really expensive. And like I said, if it doesn't go over, what, 160 or something like that, 150, I'm all in, I'll do it. That's real close to what I already have. So we'll see how I can build that out and still get one, if I can get one. But if it doesn't, if it goes way over like 180 or 190, nah, this is my ZR1 right here. This is it. This is it. I thought about getting some European cars, because honestly, I used to drive European cars when I was in the military. There's no lie, Mercedes, Audi. I drove a lot of those cars when I was in the military, but it's a flex, man, really. It's a flex. This car costs more than some Mercedes, man, and Audis, obviously. So obviously I can get those things, but it's about the look of this car, the sportiness, how personal it is when you're driving. It's just you in the car, and you gotta respect that. Anyway, it's your man Jay. No Ferrari for me, no Lambo for me, no McLaren for me. This is mine right here. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.